Welcome to EnVision Center News, where we discuss community impact and involvement with today's nonprofit leaders and philanthropists. All right, welcome to EnVision Center News. I have my guests, Nick and Todd. I'm not going to say your guys' last names because I'll screw it up. So people can look you up if they want to.
Perfect.
That'll give some suspense.
Yes.
And so I'm here to talk to you about what you guys do and to learn more about this really new thing that you created together. You're not a nonprofit, and so that's unique for us. Usually we have nonprofits on, but you guys are maybe helping nonprofits in a pretty big way, and you're definitely helping us in a big way.
Yeah, we like nonprofits.
We like nonprofits. Yeah.
It's good that you
help.
like them because we have 3 times the national average of nonprofits in this tiny town
Right.
here. So you have a lot of friends built in when you like them.
Yes.
So tell me what it is that you guys are doing to support nonprofits.
Yeah.
All right.
You want Todd, kick it off.
I don't know. Do you know?
Yeah. What is it we do? No.
Well, Nick and I have been working together at church, and we met at church doing some video projects, and it just kind of keeps coming to us, I guess, that way, where these nonprofits like yourself end up needing these little projects to put things out there. So we both have background in film, and we enjoy hanging out with each other. So we're like,
Yes.
well, let's see what happens if we just say yes to jobs, and just through friends and people from church and stuff, just keep saying, hey, I got a friend that needs this, I got someone that needs that. So it just sort of keeps coming out of the woodwork for us, and it's easy for us to do because we like working together. We have a lot of fun doing it.
Yes.
And it just, when we work together, things just kind of seem to keep popping together. And I guess Nick and I also filmed some commercials for my business earlier this year, and that was probably the first time we did anything together. And like a mechanic, I'm still editing most of those.
We're still
commercials.
Have they seen the light of day?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
one.
There's
There's one
one.
live on Meta now, but
That's awesome.
yeah. And we're just getting started. Yeah.
I love it. Well, we're getting you early, and so early, in fact, that you hadn't had a name
No.
when we
No.
first started working together, but you may have tipped me off that you've come up with something.
We did. Todd did. Todd
I
came
had
and
an
love
epiphany
it.
at night. I
Yes.
think this is the name. Right now, we're calling it Pray Tell Pigtures.
Pray tell.
Uh-huh.
That was a question.
Yeah.
Pray
Pray Tell. Yeah.
Pray tell.
Pray Tell Pictures is a play on our name. I'm
Yeah.
Prather. He's Pignotti.
Pigtures with
Yeah.
spelt like pig.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Pigtures.
Pictures.
Yeah.
With my last name, Pray is P-R-A.
Fantastic.
Todd's
Right.
last name. Yeah.
We're playing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we really like it. I
I really like it. It's
You love
playful.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
playful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it kind of is in this vein, obviously, of,
Right.
of where we're going. We're helping churches, helping nonprofits, and coming up with. We want to come up with a way to make video accessible to
Yep.
these groups, because video is king online.
Yep.
Correct.
And if you want to sell something, if you want to convey a message, you have to do it by video. And there's only so much you can do with stock video and even AI and everything. You need the people saying the words
Yep.
and,
Right.
and the emotions that go along with it, especially.
I love it. I love it. Well, I would love to help you. What were we talking about, though? We were talking about making more videos and making it more accessible.
Making it
Correct.
more accessible, to the nonprofits. We design the production in such a way that we can, like we did with you guys, where we could come in and get as many shots as possible
Right.
while we're on a scene, that we could collect these shots that would be part of the core project, but maybe create like a library to support that main project. And whether we edit it, anybody can edit these days. So it's like just mostly getting the content there and helping these organizations get their message out in an effective way.
Yeah. So for people listening, we created or are creating in the midst of creating a commercial to use at our Festival of Trees, an inspirational video.
Yeah.
And so what you guys have come alongside us with was storyboards and how are we going to visually tell this? I still don't know what it's going to look like. It gives me a lot of anxiety. I'm not going to lie.
It's going to look great. It's going to look great.
Right.
It will look great because you guys are awesome and you've seen our vision and you got to take the time to get to know us and
Yes.
and it's just it's cool. But what I love about this is while we were talking about how this video might look for the Festival of Trees, right? A very specific use of the video. You're thinking ahead and you're like, all right, well, you don't want it just for this. You want it for your Facebook and you want this clip for Instagram and you need this on your website. And so you're already digesting this one big thing and putting it into these little pieces for us or giving us the toolbox to create those pieces ourselves, which is really important because like we talked about earlier, there's 3 times the national average of nonprofits here. There's a lot of noise out there. We have little brand recognition. How do we stand out? How do we keep getting our message across? And it's repetition and consistency and quality work and all of the things. So you're helping in a huge way.
Good.
Huge way. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think the big thing too is a lot of these nonprofits don't have an internal creative team, right? I mean, it's the right.
Yeah.
If you wear that hat that day.
Right. So it's just trying to enable and empower and help and back that up. And I think creating knowing marketing, knowing web use and social media and using video in all those capacities and not trying to just create the one-off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you guys had it your way, a little crystal ball into the future, what does Pray Tell Pigtures?
Yeah. Sounds good.
What does Pray Tell Pigtures? That's really hard to say now that I'm trying to
just
Just let it go. Just let it come out.
one more time. Pigtures. Where are you in 5 years? Are you still doing your day jobs? Are you full-time nonprofit video work? Are you for-profit and nonprofit? What do you think? What do you want? What's your desires?
Okay. You
want me to kick it
Yeah,
off?
yeah,
Yeah.
that
I
one.
think there's a big, we're definitely trying to think big picture. We want this to grow, and obviously to do that, you're gonna need clients and other nonprofits. And I think we would love to get to a point where we are helping others execute this. So what am I trying to say? As far as in 5 years, if we didn't have our day jobs and we were running our business, Pray Tell Pictures, with a team and help several nonprofits, several projects, that would be a dream.
have 1 or 2 production crews
Running at a time, right?
Shoot days once or twice a week.
Right. To get into a pattern where like Todd's saying, we're shooting some days, we're editing other days, we've empowered other people as far as maybe we've hired an editor at that point. That would be awesome, where Todd and I can then be doing more of this, where we're talking to the people and helping them figure out their creative and then kind of handing that stuff off to other people to help them grow in their business. I think you saw we had Luca, who's helping us do camera work and such a good guy, and it'd be awesome to just be able to snowball that and grow that team. And then of course, as you said, there's so many nonprofits here, and what you're wanting to do with the Crec Center, maybe there's some sort of something there as far as empowering the whole Crec Center and doing video and marketing, creating assets for all of the nonprofit, right?
Absolutely.
That would be awesome.
Right. I know. It's been a dream of mine to have all of these different moving pieces that help nonprofits operate on the next level, right? Like we were talking earlier, everybody's wearing all of the hats, and we wear some of them well, and we wear some of them pretty wonky, and it's like, gosh, that doesn't fit right, that looks terrible, but that's what our budget dictates, right? And so playing with these ideas of models of like, well, what would it look like if nonprofits paid on a subscription-based level to get access to grant writers and graphic designers and legal aid and marketing experts and videography, and that way you're filled up and you're not going out and getting all the clientele. We bring you clientele, and we bring in financing, bring in the people, and and then you still can have paying clients on the side. Not that the nonprofits don't pay, but maybe there's a sliding scale, but how incredible would that be, and empowering and resourceful to kind of do under one roof.
Yeah, I love that concept.
Yeah. I mean, it makes so much sense, and I feel like for some reason this keeps like weaving its way in. I'm from a creative background. You're from creative backgrounds. Like we have a web developer working in here. We had a graphic designer in here for a while. We have a marketing gal working in here. All these pieces are there to like create an agency for nonprofits, and not necessarily that that's what CREC will become, but maybe we're the home to those organizations, and just keep the strategic partnerships flowing, where we bring those people in and get them space in the studio and whatnot.
Well, and to your point, we had said at one time that like there's so many nonprofits here and everyone's competing, right? But if you can, instead of competing, like work together and find strengths from each team and like then creatively strategize how to do different media and marketing, like that's huge.
Right. And we're not competing as in we don't want to see each other
right.
But it's just inevitable though. We're all competing for donor dollars.
Funding,
competing for great board members, competing for airtime, competing for, event space and weekends. And, there's a lot going on in this little community. That's for darn sure.
Yeah. Lots of activities.
Yeah.
It is. Lots of activities. But seeing all the directors, that meeting that I was like, it's empower, like what you guys are all doing as executive directors is pretty amazing, as far as like that meeting and seeing how you guys talk and figure things, like that was pretty cool. I must say, like, so that's the precipice of like what this could be.
Like, I know. I've been just dreaming so big about this whole complex being filled with all of these partners, and then having that conversation that you got to be privy to, that happens once a month on a Friday. What if that was happening all week long? The synergy that's going on, the conversations that are being, melded together, and things that just get passed, or you don't think that they're a big deal, or you don't want to bother somebody by picking up the phone and calling them, or you don't even think that, hey, this person might need to know this, but then all of a sudden, if you're passing each other in the hallway on the way to the kitchen, or you're going to inevitably be talking about what we're doing, and there's going to be so much overlap and really create a more impactful environment. And and
I think as a team, what I'm seeing too, it's like it's neat to see that like you don't have to feel alone as a nonprofit. Like I have locked into this budget, and I definitely can't spend it for media or getting a videographer. But so-and-so over here is paying for a half day. Our day, we can't sell a full day at that point. So like, what are the other nonprofits? Do they need some video? Thinking like that and strategizing, like, even though you don't have the budget, it doesn't mean you can't get the quality assets. And I think that's what we're trying to like, obviously getting paid is nice, and like we need to feed our families, but I think we're wanting to help, I think I've said it a couple times, help companies and smaller nonprofits fight a weight class above, have digital assets that look like you paid $25,000 for a movie,
Absolutely.
And like that's what we're trying to kind of do, I think.
Well, and I think what I'm hoping we can do is support the local businesses or the service provider, that it's not a nonprofit, and the nonprofits, and bring that all together. We work with a fella, he's a graphic designer, and he's fantastic, and he had done some work for one of our local nonprofits and did it for nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it looks great. It's fantastic.
Awesome.
And, he feels good about it. But then at the end of the day, what did he do for the industry? What did he do for his family? What did he do?
Sure.
You know, like he didn't get any sort of reward other than I feel good about this. But then he sits with it longer and he's like, I actually don't feel good about this.
Right. Sure.
Because I set an expectation that my work is free.
Right.
And it shouldn't be that way. You know, it should be
Right.
like we get paid for what
It's
we
not
do and for our
sustainable.
time. And
right,
how do we do it in a way? How can we rethink the system so that we're all benefiting and no one's having to go home hungry?
Right.
Right.
How can it be win-win for everyone?
And that's where, we're at in this particular point in time is there's so much, like where technology's at is that it's accessible it's the knowledge that is ultimately all you really need. A nice camera, some lights, and some
Right.
knowledge. But, with efficient production, it's easy for us to work on smaller budgets if we're like hyper focused on the time it takes for each shot. We do, of course, we storyboard everything. So
Right.
going in, we know we need this shot, that shot, this shot. And I mean, man, we were impressed with ourselves
We
the
were.
other day. That whole shoot we did here, we were expecting to be here all day, and we were done at like 1 o'clock. or
One, I
something.
Yeah.
think is what it was. but
Yeah. You guys were moving. You had a
Yeah.
plan and then you just did it. I don't
Yeah.
know. It was pretty amazing
So
to
that's
watch,
how
actually.
everything has been going, though, between us since we've been working
It-
together.
cool.
Is
They've
like,
just kinda-
let's
yeah.
do this. Okay, boom. Like,
Boom,
it
we
just
did it.
happens,
Right.
So we're just keeping going with that.
I
And
love
we
it.
enjoy each other's company. I mean, just to piggyback on that. I mean, not
That's
that it's
right,
about
man.
the business. We don't. I mean, and we've said this to each other, but like, as soon as it stops becoming fun for the two of us, like we don't. It's probably not meant to be, right?
Yeah.
But like, we keep chasing it. And like, yeah, this has been fun so far. Like,
Yeah.
let's keep.
Are you having a good time?
Yeah, are you
I'm
having a good time?
having a good
Right.
time.
It's great. This is cool. We get to hang out and like make fun, creative videos. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
well, we're benefiting from it and we're so grateful for you guys to even sit in a room and have that conversation with us and to not shame us when we tell you how much
Right.
we have to
Right.
to pay you. And that you're open to it, right? And that was amazing. But I want to change that. I don't want that to be the norm.
Sure.
But I want
Good.
us to get in on
Yeah.
that level.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you're locked
You're
in.
on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, this is really great. I appreciate you guys coming and taking time to talk. How did you both end up in Sandpoint? What's your guys' personal journeys?
Well, I'll just start in northern Nevada is where I lived with my family for 6 or 7 years before my wife's parents decided they would retire here. So like so many people, we came on vacation with them to check it out, see what this was about. And while we were here, we actually decided we would move. So when we got back home, I flew back up and found a house, and like 40 days later, we lived in Sandpoint.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was 9 years ago this very day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
On Halloween, we moved in.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Fun. That's
That's
a good
awesome.
story. I like
2016.
that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dang.
Very cool. Were you in costume when you moved in?
We were.
Driving in
We
clothes.
like pulled the truck up right at sunset, really, and like
go
jumped out and
trick-or-treating.
ran around the neighborhood. And
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you live in the same house?
No, that was a rental. We lived in South Sandpoint for a minute, and now we live up Rapid Lightning, back in the woods off grid.
That's why you grew the beard?
Yeah, it just kind of kept
Kept going.
just growing. Yeah,
I'm working on mine.
yeah,
You got a ways there.
Yeah,
You got a ways.
it's looking good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
How about you, Nick? How did you
we-
end up in Sandpoint?
Yeah, we were. I guess I'll start mine story in San Diego. That's when Whitney and I got married, my wife, and then kind of started our family there. We had our third child and decided we'd wanted to move out of California. We'd been thinking we wanted to move, but after having the third child, we just decided that was kind of the time. I came up here. This was in 2019, I believe, with my mother-in-law, and checked out. We were thinking like Montana or Wyoming, but we'd heard about Sandpoint, so I came up here with my mother-in-law who lives with us, and she wanted to check it out, and we just like fell in love. And it was, I think, 3 months later that we were officially, that was like in August, and then we were up here, ironically, around, it was Thanksgiving 2019 weekend that we drove from California up here. Lived in Rathdrum for 6 months renting, and then bought a house in what we call Deep Sagal, Tallahatchie Beach.
Nice. That is Deep Sagal.
Is very Deep Sagal.
Yeah.
Way back.
Way back there. But we like it. Sagal's great. I mean, just I like driving across the Long Bridge every morning. It's kind of neat to like, this is the town we live in, to see it. Like, I love doing that in the morning,
glorious.
Except for when there's an accident.
Yeah,
then you're just sitting there watching.
That
which is
often. It
fun
really
too.
doesn't.
It doesn't.
Happen that
It doesn't
often.
happen that often. It's only been like once or twice since we've lived here, so not that bad. But yeah, that's what brought us here.
I love it.
Raise the family in the countryside, in the forest.
Do you homeschool, or are your kids?
We do.
Okay.
My mother-in-law is a retired teacher, so we
how
kind of scored
convenient.
with that.
Yes.
We're just like, we'll bring the teacher into the house with us, and so
and
she
then
helps
you
with that.
don't have to be the teacher.
No,
fantastic. I'm very impressed by parents that do that.
Oh,
I'm
it's
impressed by parents that parent. I am not a parent.
No,
so
it's parenting, and then being a parent and teaching. Like, I can't imagine. It's nice that we can kind of hand that part off to my mother-in-law.
Yeah, that's great.
She's really good with the kids, so yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else we should touch on before we close up here?
I don't know, unless you wanted to expand on the Festival of Trees event.
Yeah,
at
we
all.
can.
Do you want to hear more about it? Do you guys feel like you know what's happening?
I know a
I've
little
been
bit.
before, and like,
But have you been
I haven't-
to ours?
not yours. No.
This is gonna be a
And
new
this
one.
year is going to be totally different. There's so many new things happening. I'm really excited about all of them. First thing, so the Friends and Family Day
Yes.
is on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And it is the first time that we're hosting this at the Hive. And it is also the first time that people under the age of 21 can be in the Hive.
Get in there, kids.
So that is really exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
fun.
exciting.
That's
So
awesome.
they're going to get a whole new audience of people coming through the doors. We have cookies and cocoa free for all families. Everything's free. Sit and take pictures with Santa. We have a 4th grade gingerbread competition that's
So
taking
cool.
place, which is my favorite, maybe because I made it happen. But but I think it's so cool. And so that's going on. There's going to be crafts and face painting. And then we have 7 different nonprofit partners that are designing and decorating and stocking trees. And those will
how
all be
cool.
available for online auction and auction their day of. And then also, the Idaho Club is donating a really fantastic Charlie Brown tree. And it's not going to look like
Oh,
just
I
the
was like,
sad
oh,
Charlie
that was-
Brown tree. But it's Charlie Brown themed.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
you can win it by buying a raffle ticket. That's the only cost, is if you want to buy a raffle ticket or bid on the auction items. But then we have our big fancy gala the following Saturday. And again, that's happening at the Hive. And we have 113 Main catering it. And we've got your video that will debut along with our splashy message that people are going to get a little
Yes.
taste of.
Nice. Great.
Yeah, and that should be fantastic. And we've just had an incredible lead in to the event by sponsorships this year. Like, they're
awesome.
all sold out.
Oh wow.
That's
Isn't
good
that
to hear.
amazing?
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I feel light because of that. Not,
I
you
bet.
know, like,
I
oh my
bet.
gosh.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
Katie.
So that's really incredible. Now we're just gonna fill those seats with some folks and have a killer party and raise money for our community.
Yes.
And 30% of our proceeds from that evening are going to go to the Angels Over Sandpoint.
Oh, cool.
And we feel really excited about that partnership because we serve the same kind of clientele. And the EnVision Center, I don't know if you know this, we don't ever hand out money. We don't have money to hand out. All of the money that comes in to us goes to paying our staff and running our programs, and we don't have money to give to people. So what happens is we just connect people with organizations that solve the problem or that may be able to come
Right.
alongside with a financial gift. And so this 30% that's going to the Angels Fund will go towards people falling through the cracks. So it might be rental assistance, might be a new set of tires, could be, a new stroller or, whatever. But it's great because there are a lot of people that are falling through the cracks right now. And it continues to grow, and it continues to be a hard place to live here, and the gap kind of keeps growing. And
it does.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's, what we do here is wonderful, but it's a hard job. I always feel for Angela, who answers our phone every day and talks and sits with the clients and is really that like shoulder to cry on.
Mm-hmm.
She's fantastic at seeing each and every person that walks through our doors and letting them know they're heard. And sometimes she sends them without any resource, sometimes there just isn't something that fits. And so this fund that we're creating with the Angels should hopefully kind of help solve that.
Oh, nice.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jay, you may not hand out money, but I think he even said that booklet is like gold.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's...
Yeah, he wouldn't stop talking about it.
He would not stop talking about that booklet. And that's
Jay was our actor in the video, but he also helps a lot of people in town.
Oh, my goodness,
And he hands out probably more of those booklets than anybody.
Yeah.
I bet.
He just couldn't stop talking about what a resource that is.
Well, he's very kind, and he's very, I loved it. He came into the office. He's like, I need 140 books. I'm doing these trainings. They cannot not have them.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I don't have a budget for that, but if I ask somebody, I think they'll give me the money.
That's awesome.
And he's like, let's do it. Let's order them. And I'm like, all right, you're right. Like, it'll come. The money will come. Somebody will show up. And sure enough, within 2 days, we had the money to pay for them. They were in his hands,
that's
and he
awesome.
was giving them to all those teachers that were doing suicide prevention
But
training.
it's that same, mentality. And I think, it's the same thing we're doing with these videos.
Yes.
Or, we're putting it out there. We may not be getting paid, but, there's a need and a want, so you're just it'll come back to us.
That's right.
It might not
I
be a
agree
monetary
wholeheartedly.
form, but God works in mysterious ways. I don't know, Christian, but there's just there's so much stuff out there that you just got to keep after it.
Yeah, I think it's faith and it's hope and it's this belief that good comes back and that when you do something for others, they see that in you. It's endearing. It's all right, how do we build more of that and quit hoarding the pie?
Right.
Yeah.
Pie's good though.
So it's trick or treats.
It's trick or treats, I know.
Trick or treats. What's your favorite Halloween candy? Let's end on that.
If I had to pick, I would probably just go with probably Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Solid.
Yeah. I usually grab the Butterfingers.
Ooh, those are good ones
you like
too.
cavities.
Yeah.
I immediately put my tongue
But they
over
are
my
delicious.
tooth when you said that.
Yeah, it sticks right in there.
It sticks
doesn't
right
it?
in there.
Yeah.
But
Keep
yeah,
enjoying
Butterfinger's
it.
good.
Yeah.
So you keep it lasts all afternoon.
Oh,
I always chose Almond Joy, and it wasn't necessarily because it was my favorite, but my siblings didn't like it, so I could actually
You can
get
hoard,
that one.
yeah.
yeah.
So I learned to like it, and now
The Almond
have a
Joys are
soft
good. Those are
spot.
my dad's favorite. Almond Joy. You ever do the mounds?
Well, yeah,
It's no almond, right?
Right.
It's just the
Yeah.
Those were good too.
it does feel like it's missing something.
Missing the
though.
almond, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time to do
Yes,
this and then
of
your
course.
time to record and edit and plan. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah.
pleasure. Thank you for having us.
When will you
Yes.
have a logo so we can add it to our
Right away.
materials?
Right.
Right away.
About as
Right.
fast as we had our
Yeah.
name.
At the end of this podcast.
Podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. Oh, awesome. All right. Thanks, you guys.
All right.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. For more information, you can go to crecidaho.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again soon.